You're being fined $8,000 for unauthorized lake use. That line hit me like a joke gone too far, except it wasn't funny, and it sure as hell wasn't fake. It was stamped right there on a red bordered citation, bold as day, signed by none other than Karen Whitmore, Queen of the HOA, self-appointed keeper of all things petty. You ever see someone's name and just feel your blood pressure spike? Yeah. There I was, standing on my dock, dripping wet from my morning swim, when I read it. Rusty, my retriever, backed once, then sat like he knew something bad had just arrived. The letter said I'd violated some community rule about using a communal water feature. Only problem. The lake wasn't communal. It was mine. Sat smack dab in the middle of my 112-acre ranch, land that's been in my family since my grandfather bought it back in the 40s. Karen didn't own so much as a lily pad out there, but that didn't stop her from trying to claim it. Let me back up a sec. My name's Dan Carter. I retired from mechanical engineering a few years ago and decided city life wasn't it anymore. So I bought the old family ranch back from a cousin who didn't care much for land or lakes or peace and quiet. I fixed up the place, built a modest cabin by the water, and started living the life I thought I'd earn, fishing in the morning, chopping wood in the afternoon, lake swims at sunset. Simple. Perfect. And apparently, a massive threat to the local HOA. Karen showed up the week I moved in, spotless SUV, purse, clipboard, the whole nine. Introduced herself like a politician. Hi, I'm Karen Whitmore, president of the Willow Creek HOA. Welcome to the neighborhood. I told her thanks, but I wasn't in her neighborhood. This ranch was outside the HOA boundaries. She didn't like that one bit. Gave me that tight smile like she just swallowed a lemon. Well, the previous owner participated voluntarily, she said. We'd appreciate the same from you. I told her politely, no thanks. That should have been the end of it. But Karen. She doesn't take no kindly. What followed was a barrage of letters about community expectations, passive-aggressive notes about my barn not being up to the aesthetic standards, and finally the fine. $8,000. For swimming. In my lake. Now, here's where it gets fun. While Karen spent years obsessing over trash can placement and lawn heights, I'd been quietly buying up land around Willow Creek. Parcels here and there, from old ranchers and absentee owners, some of it out of love for the land, sure, but a few pieces. They were strategic. Like the land that contained their clubhouse. And the trail system. And, most importantly, the only road leading to what they considered lake access. I didn't plan it to be petty, but when the fine showed up, I saw my opening. I went to the county office, reviewed the HOA bylaws, and confirmed what I suspected. As owner of those access easements, I could propose new terms. So I did. Called a vote with the 5 easement board members, 4 of which I owned by land title. The 5th. My cousin Harold, who still owed me for dragging him out of a ditch in Kuwait back in '91. Unanimous vote. Access fee raised by $5,000 a year. Effective immediately. 2 weeks later, Karen got the notice at her HOA pool party. Margarita in hand, sunglasses on, surrounded by loyal clipboard-toting enforcers. Her face went from smug to shriek in 2 seconds flat. She dialed 911 right then and there, claiming extortion. The cops showed up. I handed them deeds, maps, photos, even the tax records. They nodded, said this was a civil matter, and left. Karen. She turned red enough to match her HOA letterhead. But she didn't stop. Next, she brought a tow truck to remove the gate I'd put up to block trespassers from using the road. Claimed it was an unauthorized structure on HOA land. I recorded the whole thing. Her yelling at the driver, ordering him to break it down. When she picked up a crowbar and tried to do it herself, the sheriff pulled in. Saw the survey markers, the video, the paperwork and told her to step back. 3 nights later, my barn burned down. Now, I'm not saying Karen led the march, but I am saying I had security footage of her walking my fence line at 2 a.m., gas can in hand, right before the fire started. The sheriff saw it too. She was arrested for trespassing and attempted arson. Whole town heard about it. Small towns don't do secrets well. But just when I thought it was over, the FBI showed up. Turns out, Karen wasn't just power tripping on my property. She was skimming HOA funds, setting up dummy contractors, inflating invoices, funneling money into accounts in Nevada and Florida. Over $1 million. Willow Creek was her little kingdom and I'd kicked over the throne. The community turned on her. Sheriff, former treasurer, stepped up. Held a vote. Karen was out. Banned from HOA leadership. Sheriff came to my gate with a peace offering, banana bread and a formal apology. Said they were dissolving the HOA entirely, replacing it with a voluntary co-op. No fines. No clipboards. Just neighbors helping neighbors. They even named the new trail system after me. Carter Trails. I didn't ask for it, but when they put up that sign by the lake, I'll admit, I got misty. Karen tried one last time. Wrote me a note, taped to my mailbox. You may have won the battle, but you turned everyone against me. Then she vanished. House sold. No goodbye. Just silence. I rebuilt the barn with help from Logan, my nephew, and a few generous neighbors. We started a YouTube channel reclaiming peace with Dan Carter. Shared the whole story. It blew up. Hundreds of thousands of views. People from across the country shared their own HOA nightmares. We started a nonprofit, helped others fight back, even turned part of the ranch into a retreat space for vets and folks burned out by modern life. 1 year after the fire, we held a big cookout by the lake. Freedom Fest. No HOA, no drama, just food, laughter, and peace. Real peace. And as the sun set over Carter Lake, I looked around and finally felt like the fight had been worth it. But before you go thinking it all ended perfectly, let me just say this: peace isn't something you win once. It's something you defend, over and over. So wherever you're watching from, if someone's ever tried to take what's yours, your land, your rights, your dignity, just remember, the lake was always mine. I just had to prove it. Drop your thoughts below. Was I right to stand my ground, or did I go too far? And if you've ever had your own HOA battle, trust me, I want to hear about it.